In addition to BrightSign's full-feature BrightSign network for distributing and managing your presentations around the world, BrightSign also offers the Simple File networking option for basic distribution of presentations to your remote units from any standard web server that you manage yourself. Simple File networking is free to all BrightSign customers using our network-enabled HD210 and HD1010 models. One thing to note is that this option will only work with a fully functional web server accessed with a traditional URL and hosted by you, the BrightSign user. Simple File networking may not use an FTP server or shared directory. So now let's set it up. We'll start by configuring our unit to work with our web server. Go to Tools, Set up a BrightSign unit. It's important to note that this step only involves configuring the BrightSign unit to connect with our web server. We do not transfer any presentation content or schedules to the unit during this step. The presentation content and schedule will be pulled from the web server after configuration and connection. Here we'll select Networked with Simple File Network. In this field we'll enter the path to our desired directory on the web for our presentation content. Then we'll set how often we want our unit to connect to the web server to check for any updates in presentation content or schedules. Finally, we'll create our setup files on our SD card and insert it into our BrightSign unit. When the unit is powered up, it will call into our designated web server and look for content to download and present. You've probably guessed that the other part of the picture we need is to publish our presentation to our web server. Typically, we can't write our presentation files directly to our web space, so we will publish them locally to our computer and then FTP or upload our files as a separate step. With our presentation created, we'll go to the Publish tab and then the Simple File Networking option. We'll choose and schedule our presentations as desired. We'll again input our web server here, which simply specifies in the presentation files where the unit should check for any updates to the presentation. The next field is the folder on our local machine to which we'll publish our presentation. With our presentation published, we can simply upload these files to our server. We'll go to the local location where we just published the presentation and transfer the contents of that location to the web server location we specified in the simple networking setup. We can do this using any common FTP tool. Once we power up our BrightSign unit, it will reach out to this web address, look for the presentation configuration files, and begin to download and run our presentation. In general, updating our presentations is as simple as republishing them and uploading them to the web server. We may find that only minor changes need to be made, and we would prefer to avoid uploading larger media files that have not been changed in our presentation. This can easily be done, but a couple things need to be kept in mind. First, we should always fully republish our presentation. This generates the data files needed for the configuration of the presentation. Secondly, we always need to at least upload those newly generated data files. Finally, if we make modifications to a media file itself and attempt to upload it directly, the media file will be out of sync with the data files and will not be readable. To ensure a modified media file is included and read properly, we should give it a new unique name before using it in our presentation, and again republish our presentation. With those in mind, managing our Simple File network should be no problem. Simple File networking provides a basic, simple solution for leveraging the remote capabilities of our versatile BrightSign unit.